I know some of you are tired of being victims, tired of being told you can't achieve your dreams, that the things in life you want to do, you can't do. I know you are tired of hearing that. That is why I'm talking to you today. Because today, I want you to fight back. Fight back for what you believe in. Fight back for what you want to achieve. Fight for your dreams, fight for your goal.
I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. If I had to choose between selling for average and fighting for greatness, I will fight. This ain't no cheat code, this is beast mode. No shortcuts, just the hard road. When your hero needs a hero, you become your own. Build grit from the fire, forged in stone. No fear, this is battle-born calm. I trained in storms so I can walk through bombs. Prepared for the war, even in peace. I sharpen my mind while the restless sleep. Every scar on my skin, that's a lesson earned. Every loss lit a fire, now I watch it burn. I don't quit, don't fold, don't flinch, don't run. If I fight until the war is won. I fight for my name, for my bloodlines rise. For my future, for the fire that never dies. For the honor I carry, for the truth in my chest. For the man in the mirror who refuses to rest. I don't break, I get better. I don't retreat, I remember the mission, the reason, the pain, the vice. When forced to choose peace or pay the price, I choose fight. When pressure builds, I look around me. If I give in, I break my own boundary. Then it won't sit right. No other choice but to fight, and I choose fight. It's who I am, I owe it to myself to give more than my body has left. If I quit, I won't sleep right. No other choice but to fight, and I choose fight. Best believe I'm my toughest skeptic. I prove myself wrong just for breakfast. The little voice in my head gets muted. The big voice in my heart yells, do it. When the pain gets louder than my thoughts, when doubt creeps in the shadows, remember where's the bar. Remember all the battles that I fought, just to learn all needs can't be bought. I'm not here to be perfect, I'm here to be relentless. If I'm still standing, I'm swinging for the fences. Submission isn't in the character. Picking backs and hanging home is not what I'm prepared for. No defeat, heart made of steel, won't clutch my pearls. Self-made beast, the only time I kneel is for bicep curls. I'll stretch, I'll bite, I'll do what it takes. There's no optic, question on my answer never was an option, and I choose fight. When pressure builds, I look around me. If I give in, I break my own boundary. Then it won't sit right. No other choice but to fight, and I choose fight. It's who I am, I owe it to myself to give more than my body has left. If I quit, I won't sleep right. No other choice but to fight, and I choose fight. I'll fight it. I'll crawl to my right. I'll push with all my might. I'll do what it takes. There's no option. Quit's not my answer. Never was an option. I choose fight. When pressure builds, I look around me. If I give in, I break my own boundary. Then it won't sit right. No other choice but to fight, and I choose fight. It's who I am, I owe it to myself to give more than my body has left. If I quit, I won't sleep right. No other choice but to fight. I choose fight.
I know some of you are tired of being victims, tired of being told you can't achieve your dreams, that the things in life you want to do, you can't do. I know you are tired of hearing that. That is why I'm talking to you today. Because today, I want you to fight back. Fight back for what you believe in. Fight back for what you want to achieve. Fight for your dreams, fight for your goal.
I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. If I had to choose between selling for average and fighting for greatness, I will fight. This ain't no cheat code, this is beast mode. No shortcuts, just the hard road. When your hero needs a hero, you become your own. Build grit from the fire, forged in stone. No fear, this is battle-born calm. I trained in storms so I can walk through bombs. Prepared for the war, even in peace. I sharp in my mind while the restless sleep. Every scar on my skin, that's a lesson earned. Every loss lit a fire, now I watch it burn. I don't quit, don't fold, don't flinch, don't run. If I fight until the war is won. I fight for my name, for my bloodlines rise, for my future, for the fire that never dies, for the honor I carry, for the truth in my chest, for the man in the mirror who refuses to rest. I don't break, I get better. I don't retreat, I remember the mission, the reason, the pain, the vice. When forced to choose peace or pay the price, I choose fight. When pressure builds, I look around me. If I give in, I break my own boundary. Then it won't sit right. No other choice but to fight, and I choose fight. It's who I am, I owe it to myself to give more than my body has left. If I quit, I won't sleep right. No other choice but to fight, and I choose fight. Best believe I'm my toughest skeptic. I prove myself wrong just for breakfast. The little voice in my head gets muted. The big voice in my heart yells, do it. When the pain gets louder than my thoughts, when doubt creeps in the shadows, remember where's the bar. Remember all the battles that I fought, just to learn all needs can't be bought. I'm not here to be perfect, I'm here to be relentless. If I'm still standing, I'm swinging for the fences. Submission isn't in the character. Picking backs and hanging home is not what I'm prepared for. Know the beat, heart made of steel, won't clutch my pearls. Self-made beast, the only time I kneel is for bicep curls. I'll scratch, I'll bite, I'll do what it takes. There's no optic, question on my answer never was an option, and I choose fight. When pressure builds, I look around me. If I give in, I break my own boundary. Then it won't sit right. No other choice but to fight, and I choose fight. It's who I am, I owe it to myself to give more than my body has left. If I quit, I won't sleep right. No other choice but to fight, and I choose fight. I'll fight it. I'll crawl to my right. I'll push with all my might. I'll do what it takes. There's no option. Quit's not my answer. Never was an option. I choose fight. When pressure builds, I look around me. If I give in, I break my own boundary. Then it won't sit right. No other choice but to fight, and I choose fight. It's who I am, I owe it to myself to give more than my body has left. If I quit, I won't sleep right. No other choice but to fight. I choose fight.
I know some of you are tired of being victims, tired of being told you can't achieve your dreams, that the things in life you want to do, you can't do. I know you are tired of hearing that. That is why I'm talking to you today. Because today, I want you to fight back. Fight back for what you believe in. Fight back for what you want to achieve. Fight for your dreams, fight for your goal.
I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. If I had to choose between selling for average and fighting for greatness, I will fight. This ain't no cheat code, this is beast mode. No shortcuts, just a hard road. When your hero needs a hero, you become your own. Build brick from the fire, forged in stone. No fear, this is battle born calm. I trained in storms so I can walk through bombs. Prepared for the war, even in peace. I sharpen my mind while the restless sleep. Every scar on my skin, that's a lesson earned. Every loss lit a fire, now I watch it burn. I don't quit, don't fold, don't flinch, don't run. If I fight until the war is won. I fight for my name, for my bloodlines rise, for my future, for the fire that never dies, for the honor I carry, for the truth in my chest, for the man in the mirror who refuses to rest. I don't break, I get better. I don't retreat, I remember the mission, the reason, the pain, the vice. When forced to choose peace or pay the price, I choose fight. When pressure builds, I look around me. If I give in, I break my own boundary. Then it won't sit right. No other choice but to fight, and I choose fight. It's who I am, I owe it to myself to give more than my body has left. If I quit, I won't sleep right. No other choice but to fight, and I choose fight. Best believe I'm my toughest skeptic. I prove myself wrong just for breakfast. The little voice in my head gets muted. The big voice in my heart yells, do it. When the pain gets louder than my thoughts.
2, 1, go.
Good morning, Who Day Nation. What is going on with y'all boys today? I hope y'all are having a fantastic Thursday. It is the morning before this week's Thursday night football. Now, I need to figure out who's playing because it's not a team I'm interested in, so I forgot. But if y'all want to know, y'all go ahead and Google. It's free. No, y'all want to know, I'll hook y'all up. I'll find that real quick. But I hope you guys are having a fantastic morning. I had a little bit of a rough night of sleep. Boy, it's hard to get sleep nowadays, but you know what I'm saying? But hey, we here, we locked in. So let's start this morning by figuring out who's Thursday night football this week. Oh boy, what do you know? It's the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals, the AFC North. No wonder I'm not as interested in tonight's football game. But hey, football is football. We love to consume the content no matter what goes on in the middle of the games. And you never know what might happen during the middle of the game. You know what I'm saying? Take the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants on Monday Night Football. I think last week when the Giants whooped down on the Philadelphia Eagles. Didn't see that one coming. So you never know. It's a week-to-week game. You got two of the oldest quarterbacks in the National Football League today, and Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco going head-to-head. Not really an exciting one, but you got some crash outs in the game, and Jamar Chase and DK Metcalf. You got Trey Hendrickson. It looks like he wants to do some damage. You got TJ Watt. So there are some players that you want to keep an eye on, especially if you got them in your fantasy lineup. But for me, I'll just watch it because it's just football. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of football, we got a lot to talk about this week. We got a lot of storylines in this matchup for the New Orleans Saints in Week 7 against the Chicago Bears. They're going travel up north to the Windy City to take on those Bears in their home turf. And like I said, man, storylines for fucking days. Storylines for days, especially with what's going on, talks around the Saints organization in terms of who they want to trade or who fans want to see traded. Saints right now are being rumored to be actively shopping around receivers Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. Let's talk about that for just a second here before we get into my predictions of what the Saints need to do to beat the Chicago Bears. We've always talked about the New Orleans Saints needing to build around young, talented players. We've always harped on General Manager Mickey Loomis. We always harped on Sean Payton when he was here. We always harped on his front office on paying these older players, these older, non-productive players egregious contracts. Even just this past March, they signed Juwan Johnson to a 3-year, $30 million contract. And y'all already seen my reaction. Y'all were watching my YouTube shorts. Juwan Johnson being featured on NFL Fox talking about how to make TikToks. You've already seen my reaction, right? So obviously not happy about it, as are many of us, because his focus is on the wrong thing. He's more worried about how to be funny and how to be weird, quote unquote, be weird, than worrying about being the best tight end that he could possibly be. That's not where I want my players focused at. But it is what it is at this point. Maybe he can make a full-time career out of doing TikToks. More power to him. Just don't do it while you're on my team and making tens of millions of dollars while you're doing it, please. But we've always harped on these egregious contracts. Not even just in recent memory. Not even just this recent memory. Let's look a little further back. They've always let go of productive players. They've let go of Jimmy Graham, right? They let go of Brandon Cooks, right? And they mismanaged. Well, they didn't let Michael Thomas go, but they mismanaged him to a point to where he was on trajectory to be a Hall of Famer. But apparently, one bad ankle injury in a game where it was already sealed, he was still in there, Sean Payton. And he didn't need to be. He got rolled up on by Latavius Murray, and the rest speaks for itself in terms of his trajectory in the league. Right now, he's not even getting looked at as a potential prospect as a veteran receiver that can help out a locker room. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. But in terms of egregious contracts, they've let go of Trey Hendrickson. They let go of Marcus Williams now. Marcus Williams is a guy that is a kind of a hindsight because right now Marcus Williams not doing too hot in the league after he got that contract from the Baltimore Ravens. He was doing great under Dennis Allen. Speaking of him, we'll get to him later, right? But the point is they've chosen the wrong players to build around, and they've let young, productive ones, test the free agent market, and they get paid by other teams. And you see them ball out on other teams, and you think to yourself, man, that could have been what we had if Mickey Loomis wasn't so stupid and arrogant, or being a nepo baby, as some would say. Zach Bond being another one. His first year with the Philadelphia Eagles, first team All-Pro, just a gut wrencher. Trey Henderson, since he left New Orleans, he's led the league in sacks overall, and they paid Marcus Davenport. See how that worked out. It's egregious stuff, man. It's egregious stuff. I say all that to say this. When you have a chance to sign young, homegrown talent that you have cultivated in your locker room, on your practice fields, in your city, and you don't pay them, the seat should be hot for you. The seat should be hotter than the devil's ass crack. And that's how it should be for Mickey Loomis. It's like even right now with this situation. Because if you even entertain the idea of trading Chris Olave, then you're a fool. You're an absolute fool. There are some Saints fans out there that are so bought into the idea of trading Chris Olave because he has value he has value to get you some draft capital to build on for 2026. While that may be true, Chris Olave needs to be a New Orleans Saint. Yes, Chris Olave has had a litmus of concussions last year. Derek Carr had a lot to do with that. In those hospital balls he was throwing him. Look back to his rookie and sophomore years. His first 2 seasons were 1,000 yards. Yes, but we look at that and we don't know why. Who was on those rosters in 2021 and 22 that makes you think, maybe that's why he had 1,000 yards? His rookie year, he had Mike T as the X. Looks like Jarvis Landry. We have MT and Jarvis Landry commanding most of the attention from starting corners, allowing Olave to pick off the weak side as that second option. Of course, he's going to thrive. Now, what about 22? Mike T was still here for about half the season. And you saw Chris Olave once again thrive as a second option. Another 1,000-yard receiving season. The point I make is this. While Chris Olave is not a wide receiver 1, quote unquote, he is a great number 2 that can give you production of a wide receiver 1 in games where he needs to. If that makes any sense. I've always compared Chris Olave to Devontae Smith for good reason, not just because of how they're built, but the way their style of play Some people say that Chris Olave is more of an intermediate guy, an intermediate route runner that can get separation. I don't think people understood how Chris Olave was used during his time in Ohio State. He was not just known as an intermediate guy. He was known as a deep threat guy as well, who for all intents and purposes was one of the best in the Big 12 and touchdown catches. To this day, he still remains one of the best touchdown catchers in Big 10 history. Let that sink in for a second. There was always this one clip of Ohio State versus Clemson in the playoffs that went viral, and I saw a lot of Saints fans fall in love with it. It was against Clemson, Justin Fields throwing a 64-yard bomb down the field to Chris Olave, hit him in stride, and got behind who? AJ Terrell. Got behind him for a 64-yard score. It was that one clip that Saints fans fell in love with because they knew that was the deep threat that they missed, that they were missing in their offense for the better part of 5 seasons up to the year that they drafted him. It's funny how selective memory becomes so prominent. Even though this is a "what have you done for me" lately type of league. However, what Olave has shown you is he can be that deep threat that Rashid Shaheed is giving you. He can be that number 2. He can be Devontae Smith. He can be Jordan Addison. Right? These prominent number 2s in the league that are making good money while not cap strapping your offense. They have number 1 receivers next to them, and they still thrive. I mentioned Devontae Smith. You already know about A.J. Brown. Jordan Addison, he's got Justin Jefferson. Khalil Shakir, he's got Keon Coleman. Even though he's technically, Keon Coleman is not quote-unquote thriving right now, but he's still the physical X receiver paired across from Khalil Shakir. Take a look at what the San Francisco 49ers did in the years that they went to the Super Bowl. 2019, Emmanuel Sanders had Deebo Samuel. Like, come on now. Like, he's still a good player. He's still a great player. He's still a player that you can build around. And everyone thinks that Chris Olave is going to be asking for at 25, 30 million for a contract extension. Where's the proof? Where's the proof that he's going to be asking for that? Yeah, he wants to prove that he's one of the best in the league. That's anybody. That's anybody who has the love for the game. If they have any love for the game, they're going to go out. They're going to want to go out there to prove that they are the best or one of the best at their position. It's a no-brainer. Just because they want to doesn't mean that they're going to be asking for top dollar if they don't end up proving that because circumstances happen. Devontae Smith, I guarantee you, when he got drafted, he wanted to say, or he wanted to prove that he was the best at his position. I guarantee you Devontae Smith was that guy. He had a 3-year, $75 million contract, got paired with A.J. Brown, been to 2 Super Bowls, he's won 1. Jordan Addison, right now he's still on his rookie deal. But he's going to be paid anywhere. I guarantee you, when it comes out, he's going to be paid anywhere from $23 to $24 million a year, probably over 3-4 years. Still going to be paired up next to Justin Jefferson. And even, right now, even to this moment, he's still thriving with the Minnesota Vikings. Especially last year when they had Sam Darnold. You build around good players. You figure it out. You don't let them walk. You don't trade them when you don't necessarily have to trade them. I don't care about Chris Olave's issues or concussions. He's yet to have 1 concussion so far this season. Not a single one. Y'all let last season behold y'all to a point where y'all changed the narrative on what Chris Olave is. Chris Olave is not brittle. He ain't brittle. Now, Rashid Shaheed, even though ideally Shaheed brings you a lot in terms of his elite speed. It's elite speed that's top in the National Football League. That's a unique advantage that you have. It's Tyreek Hill speed. It's Jalen Waddle speed. It's great stuff. Shaheed is also 27 years old. I didn't even know about that until someone on Twitter X, brought it up to my attention in DMs, and I had to go look it up for myself. Shaheed is already 27, coming off 2 really bad knee injuries. An ACL the year before, and meniscus just last year. And you're meaning to tell me that Saints fans are more comfortable paying Shaheed than paying Chris Olave? Elite speed does not always last, especially when you have injuries like that. Even though I love Shaheed from the bottom of my heart, I really do. I really, really, really do. But if I had to pick the two, I would pick the guy that you have obviously invested first round draft capital in, and has shown he can be healthy with the right quarterback in the right situation and give you top end production week in, week out, whether it be as a volume receiver or as a deep threat, as you saw last week against the New England Patriots. Put him in Shaheed's role, give him a literal physical receiver, which, by the way, Devon Bailey still hasn't been used properly, even though they say he's going to be getting a larger role. Don't know why that's not happening yet. But I would obviously go with Chris Olave if it came down to the two. He has an overall cleaner bill of history. Yes, the amount of concussions he had last year is concerning. And yes, he's got the yips because he's still trying to, he doesn't want to suffer that again. But that comes with time, man. With every catch that he makes, he gets a little bit more of that confidence back. I'm tired of this team thinking that they're just 1 or 2 trades away from being back in contention. No, you need just about everything. And if you trade Chris Olave, you're going to be needing even more. Shaheed's an unrestricted free agent next year. Brandon Cooks is back out the door. I'm assuming because I don't think he's going to be playing through his 2 years. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are you doing, man? Not to mention the biggest note, Olave and Spencer Rattler are finding their stride together. Finally. Sunday against the Patriots was the best those two have looked in terms of from a connection standpoint. He's trusting Chris Olave. Olave is trusting Rattler. And you want to trade him just when they were starting to find their stride? What sense does that make? It's a foolish errand. It's a foolish endeavor. And anyone who supports drafting Chris Olave, I have concerns for you. I have concerns. But, hey, maybe they know something I don't, right? Maybe they know something I don't. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and shout out my boy OG. What's going on, OG? What's going on, OG? And my boy Hot Boy Nola. See, hey, I told you yesterday, boy, I was going to be coming live. You need to be tuning into my stuff a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? My boy OG says, good rant on Wednesday, getting Juwan Johnson with TikTok. Man, I was so hot. I was so heated when I saw that, man. It's like the disrespect, like, come on, man. At least with Chase Young, at least you know he's serious about football. At least with Chase Young, you know he's serious about football. I can't even take you seriously right now. No one can take you seriously. You lead all tight ends in drops, Juwan. You lead all tight ends in drops this season. You lead the team in drops. The team and all tight ends in the league. And you're on there on live national television in front of the whole country talking about how to make TikToks, my nigga. Like, be so for real. Be so for real. Like, it's an embarrassment. Carl Granderson, a fellow undrafted, cares more about football than you do. And we are currently seeing currently seeing Carl Granderson's ceiling. But he's still playing every down as if it's his last. Like, I'm so fed up with Juwan, bro. Like, at this point, it's hard to get mad. It's hard to be mad at this point. But with that being said, all that talk about trades and everything is over, at least for right now. Until something breaks out, which you never know. It's a National Football League. You never know when the next story is going to drop. We're going to go ahead and move on to officially Dennis Allen Hate Week. The Saints travel to the Windy City and take on Dennis Allen, Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and the Chicago Bears. I have the game preview from the NFL up on my screen here. We're gonna watch it together. We're gonna be doing a little commentary. We're gonna give a little feedback on what they got to say, and it's gonna be part of the content. Now, obviously, if it ends up being hit by YouTube or whatever for copyright reasons, then obviously we're gonna stop it, right? So this is like a little test run to see what YouTube and NFL is willing to tolerate. So let's look at this together. And let's see what these boys have to say. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what they have to say, because I'm curious.
New Orleans Saints head off to the Windy City off a loss and with a 1-5 record now to take on a Chicago Bears squad riding a 3-game win streak, which comes with a feeling of hope, as scary as that might be for Bear Down faithful.
Kick is good, and the Bears win it.
One team's trash is another team's treasure. Jake Moody should be drinking and eating for free anywhere he goes in Chi-Town this week. Now the Bears try and build off their fortuitous Monday night win to run their win streak to 4. They still have yet to really play up.
Good, and the Bears win it.
See,
one team's trash.
Wait a minute. I just want y'all to understand. The Chicago Bears didn't win that game. They got lucky. That last fumble against Jaden Daniels doesn't always happen. Hardly ever happens. The ball came out weird. It's a rainy night. Didn't get a proper grip, and it slipped. Bears got lucky in that instance. Otherwise, Commanders were driving down the field. They were ready to put this game on ice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not giving Dennis Allen's team no kind of credit. None. And when it comes to crunch time, yeah, they got after Jaden Daniels. Yeah, they created some turnovers in the secondary. I'll give them that. But as far as crunch time, we know how Dennis Allen's defense rocks, right? So let's keep context here when we see a moment like this. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Is another team's treasure. Jake Moody should be drinking and eating for free anywhere he goes in Chi-Town this week. Now the Bears try and build off their fortuitous Monday night win to run their win streak to 4. They still have yet to really play up to their potential in theory. Caleb Williams, for example, a touchdown, no picks, rate close to 100 versus Washington, ran for a TD, solid on paper.
Caleb takes it, gets a block from Swift, and is in for the touchdown.
This is a game that is built for linebacker Danny Stutzman. We'll get to Danny Stutzman later, but I'll explain why.
But if you saw the game, you saw that stat about him leading the NFL in off-target throws.
That's another thing that Saints secondary can bounce back on. That right there, this right here is a chance for Kool-Aid McKinstry, Quincy Riley, and Jonas Sanker. For those boys in the secondary, it's a chance for them to get back. I need to see Brandon Staley and these guys plastering these receivers. If you're going to do man, get up on them. I don't want to see no more soft cushions. I don't want to see no, off coverage 5-7 yards back, giving up free access in the middle. I don't want to see that no more. Washington gave you a blueprint on how to deal with these receivers, on how to deal with Luther Burden, on how to deal with DJ Moore. You Saints especially should know how to handle DJ Moore, right? They should know how to handle DJ Moore. So let's keep it for what it is, right?
Completed 60% of his passes in back-to-back games. Chicago was just 3 for 10 on third down versus
Look at that. Press man.
The Commanders, 1 for 3 in the red zone. Moody having to try 5 field goals is not ideal. He made 4 of them, which accounted for half their points, basically.
Look, third down, 1 and 3 in red zone. Almost similar to the New Orleans Saints. Similar to the Saints, except the Saints are a little better on third down in week 6 against the Patriots than the Bears were against the Washington Commanders. And 1 and 3 in red zone. That's just about the same. I want to see y'all's comments real quick before we continue on. You know what I'm saying? I agree. Olave should stay. What's happening? Hey, nothing much, man. Nothing much at all. Which is right now, we're watching a little preview of the Saints and Chicago Bears, see what the NFL media has to say. And then we're adding our little commentary on top of the fact.
Pass is tipped off the hand of Luvu. Commanders ball.
25 points per game is still 10th best. Ben Johnson's plan is working, but could work better is all. Saw a Bears fan comment, just want to win games because of Caleb, not because of fumbles and DeAndre Swift.
I literally said that about Spencer Rattler. I literally said that same thing on Twitter, X, about Spencer Rattler. Right now, Spencer Rattler is a quarterback you can win with, not a quarterback you can win because of. So much discourse around Rattler right now about, is he a franchise quarterback or not? I got into it with my boy Hoodie Jube, and I love Hoodie Jube. Y'all know me and Jube go way back. You know what I'm saying? We still do. I still rock with my boy Hoodie Jube. But you know he's caping, like he's supporting hard for Rattler to be in a franchise quarterback right now. I'm just not seeing it yet. It all comes down to the question, how do you define a franchise quarterback? To me, a franchise quarterback is just what they said right there about Caleb Williams. A franchise quarterback is a quarterback that you win games because of, not a quarterback you win games, not a quarterback you win games with. A franchise quarterback needs to have something, needs to have some type of trait or skill that is so elite it puts them in a class on their own that their peers cannot easily replicate. What is Spencer Rattler elite at? What is Spencer Rattler's elite trait? And is that trait winning games? Is it winning football games because of said elite trait? Right now, for me, the answer is no. And that's not a bad thing. There are like 6 quarterbacks around the league that are considered franchise quarterbacks because they have such elite traits. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford. At one point, Aaron Rodgers. There are so many quarterbacks that win games, that you win games with, and you build around them. There's nothing wrong with that. Brock Purdy is a quarterback you're winning games with right now. Kyle Shanahan is proving that he's a quarterback you win games with because of what he's doing with Mac Jones. CJ Stroud right now is a quarterback you're winning games with. He was training to be a quarterback you win because of, but as of late, he's kind of back towards the back half. Jalen Hurts, the biggest question mark, right? Jalen Hurts, he's winning games with, not because of. He still has time to change all that, but he's already gotten paid, and the time is ticking. He's still a great quarterback under the right situation. It took Kellen Moore to get the best out of Jalen Hurts. A franchise quarterback can win games no matter who's at OC. Kevin Patullo is exposing Jalen Hurts for the limitations that he has. But you can still win with him. Understand that. Dak Prescott win games because of. That Cowboys offense does not function anywhere near the same without Dak Prescott. A shout out to my boy Dak Prescott, Mississippi boy. Tua, don't even get me started. Drake May is a great example. Drake May right now is a quarterback that is winning games because of. What does Drake May do so well? What is his trait? His ability? What is his skill? Drake May is able to undress a defense and expose their weaknesses at an elite level, week in, week out so far this year. We had a quarterback that did that on a routine basis, didn't we? He wore number 9. So when I see and hear this, right? Hold on.
Win games because of a Bears fan comment, just want to win games because of Caleb, not because of fumbles and DeAndre Swift.
See what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? Caleb Williams is a first overall pick. And even he's got these questions right now. Like, come on now. It's not a shame to say that Spencer Rattler right now is not a franchise quarterback. He's just a quarterback you can win games with. That is not a shame, especially considering Spencer Rattler's draft status as a 5th-round pick. He's playing above his draft status right now. And I argue there's even more untapped potential still waiting for Rattler to be released. It's not a shame in that. It's not a shame to say. So when people say he's not a franchise quarterback, it's not a knock. When people say that Spencer Rattler is a quarterback you win games with, it's not a knock. People need to understand that. Just because he's not a franchise quarterback yet, he still has time to prove that. He's still on a rookie deal. Like, that's what some Saints fans need to understand. I'm pulling hard for Spencer Rattler as much as anybody. A Spencer Rattler who can answer that question puts the Saints well ahead of the curve in terms of their rebuild process. If he can answer that question, he can find that thing that he is so elite at, that he starts winning football games, that it makes everything about the Saints situation so much better going into next year, even 2027. So we have to understand that it's not a terrible thing to say he's not a franchise quarterback. He's not a franchise quarterback yet. Like, come on, man. So tired of everybody just going at each other's throats about Spencer Rattler. Whether you're one side or the other, understand he ain't there yet. And it's okay for him to not be there yet. Like, come on, man.
Was a good week to be a Swift, I guess. Man, does he come in hot. Last week, his 2025 breakout turned an out route into a 55-yard TD through the air.
That missed tackle, boy. Reminds me so much of Alontae Taylor. No disrespect, my boy Alontae.
And still going. DeAndre Swift veers into the end zone.
And against a Washington defense that was holding backs under 4 a carry, 108 yards, 7.7 per carry, just gashed him over and over.
Here's a toss to Swift. Man, does he have a lot of room to run.
Gets another defense tough on running backs this week. Saints holding the position to 3.7 a carry, 5th lowest.
See, that's great. That right there is so good. So many Saints fans and media are saying the Saints' run defense is terrible this year. Terrible. They just watch the game and think, oh, the Saints' run defense is just god-awful. They don't do research. They don't compare their rush defense to some of the best in the league. They're top 5 in run defense. Brandon Staley has got that point on lockdown. And shout out to the defensive line coach, man, Bo Davis. Got Brian Brzee playing at an elite level in terms of playing against the run, unlocking a new level of Brian Brzee. That's the guy right there, number 90 you can build around. Bo Davis, don't let him walk out the door. You got the scheme. Now you just need the personnel. But right now, considering the fact that they have 4-3 guys trying to play 3-4, and they're still producing top 5 against the run, I'll take that any day of the week. Take that any day of the week.
Little misdirection, but the Saints defense not fooled.
Playing the run well hasn't translated to good overall defense, though. Gave up 25 points to New England, have allowed 25 plus 4 of the last 5, which is basically what they've given up over 6 games.
Feeling the pressure, taking a shot.
Yeah, that's the secondary issue. That's the secondary and the pass rush issue. That's why I say 4-3 guys don't play well at 3-4. Not on a complete level. So that's why they need different guys. They need different guys up there. They need to get faster on the edge. They need to get faster in the interior. They need to let go of certain people. You need to let go of Nathan Shepard. You need to let go of Cam Jordan. You need to trade Carl Granderson. Get some draft capital back for Granderson. I know a team right now in the NFC West who just lost Nick Bosa, who just lost Fred Warner. They need help and on that defense. Carl Granderson would give them that. He's no Nick Bosa, but he's better than what you got right now. That's opposite of Bryce Huff. I would do it in a heartbeat. I love 96. One of the best stories coming out of Wyoming, opposite of Josh Allen. I would do it in a heartbeat. I don't care what nobody say.
He's got his man. It's Pop Douglas.
The secondary Caleb faces gave up 260 yards to Drake May, 3 touchdowns, a 140 rate. They've allowed a 111 rate for the year. Only 2 teams have given up higher, a 69.5 completion rate allowed, 14 touchdowns given up, second most.
Takes a shot down the field. It's Booty.
Now, I will say, Brandon Staley adjusted well in the second half against the Patriots. He only gave up 3 points, right? So we can say that. But in terms of first half performance, I need to see the second half and first half married well together. Got to see more of that.
Touchdown.
Maybe they relate to Sir Mix-a-Lot. They were weak in the knees facing Booty, giving up 93 yards and 2 touchdowns to Kayshawn, 71 yards and a TD allowed to Demario Douglas, a 109 rate allowed to wide receivers in 2025, only 5 teams having more trouble with wideouts. Chicago's wide receiver trio, Roma Dunze, cooled off to 32 yards in their win, DJ Moore with 42.
Quick throw, DJ Moore behind the line of scrimmage and a catch and run for a first down.
And rookie Luther Burden with 51, his second best outing so far.
Over the middle, it's Burden. Luther Burden makes a move after the catch.
Saints pass rush, just 1 sack of May for a measly yard. Williams dropped 3 times by Washington, most he'd taken since week 2.
And now Williams gets sacked by Armstrong. Boy, what a turn of events for these Bears.
Matchup the other way around. Have a Saints offense that couldn't crack 20 on the scoreboard in their loss, have only scored 21 plus once, 3 for 9 on third down, only 2 red zone trips, averaging 18 points per game on the year. Bottom of the totem pole kind of stuff.
Rattler towards the end zone. Boy, Olave had a chance.
Spencer Rattler behind the wheel. He wasn't terrible versus New England. 20 for 26, 227 yards, a rate over 100, 99 plus rate back-to-back games.
I'm going to say one thing about Spencer Rattler. I don't think some of y'all know this. I don't know if some of y'all know this. But right now, Spencer Rattler, I'm going to say this real quick. Spencer Rattler, he is 96 for 147 on his first read in the NFL. That's the most. Shout out to my boy Nick Underhill from New Orleans Football. He's got some great pieces up on New Orleans Football in their website. Go check it out. But he's 96 for 147 on throws to his first read. Y'all want to know about his percentage on the second read? 10 for 17. 10 for 17 in the National Football League. Only 17 attempts onto his second read. His check down a little higher. So he's either first read or check down. That's a good thing. He's getting the ball out. He's not putting the team behind the 8 ball. His average time to throw against the New England Patriots was 2.16. That's pretty fast. That's pretty fast for Spencer Rattler so far this season. So there's a lot of good that Rattler did in that game that gave the New Orleans Saints a chance to win. If only the defensive secondary, if only the secondary wasn't just so atrocious. The pass rush wasn't so atrocious. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of good that they could build off of. It just wasn't good enough. Just wasn't good enough.
There's a strike over the middle on a crosser. It's Olave.
0 INTs in his last 3, but only 1 game with more than 1 touchdown. Just hasn't been able to propel them to anything special. Chicago's secondary could offer a chance for him to do that. They came up with a big pick versus Jaden Daniels, but also gave up 3 touchdowns to him, over 8 yards per attempt, a rate close to 120, now 24th in rating allowed at 103, second highest completion rate allowed at 73.
If Spencer Rattler and Chris Olave really want to take that next step, they need to take advantage of the secondary. They got to take advantage of the secondary by any means. That means the offensive line needs to hold up. Cesar Ruiz give up 0 pressures. Okay, I'm still on your ass. I don't trust you yet, Ruiz. Get it done again. Do it again. Do it against DA. You know DA is going to be coming at you with those stunts, right? Them TE stunts, them TT stunts, tackle stunts. You know they're going to be coming at you, right? You know you're going to have to pick up blitzes at some point, right? diagnose business and then play accordingly, right? It's not just a one-off thing. The talent for the Bears defensive line is overall better than the Patriots D line. You do know that, right? So I want to see more. Yeah, cool. You give up no pressures. You played pretty much a clean game. Don't care. Do it again. Do it every week. Because right now, I still don't trust you. Trevor Penning needs to play better. Kelvin Banks needs to play better. That left side of the line gave up too many penalties, from holdings to false starts. Can't happen against this guy. Absolutely cannot happen. But if they can hold up, they can play overall clean football, then they have a good chance of winning this game. They have a good chance of having their best offensive performance so far this season. They got a chance. They got a chance.
End zone, Moore, spinning try, touchdown is the call.
Bears D gave up 24 points, giving up 28 a game now, only 5 teams giving up more. They did at least come up with 3 turnovers, 2 fumble recoveries on plays Washington couldn't hold on to the ball, only let them in the red zone once.
Ball's on the ground, and that is takeaway number 3.
Finished with a season-high 3 sacks. That brings their season total to 8, just 2 teams with fewer. Secondary gave up 43 yards and a touchdown to Zach Ertz, 46 yards and a TD to Chris Moore, 3 20-plus yard passes allowed, only 1 Saint wide receiver with 28 or more yards last week. Chris Olave, with a season-high 98, has 6 catches or more in 5 of their 6 games.
Some heat coming up the middle. Rattler on phase. He's got a man wide open. It's Olave.
Rashid Shaheed, 4 catches, 28 yards. Brandon Cooks, 21 yards. Tight end Jawan Johnson, 15. And Alvin Kamara, 45 yards through the air, also his season high.
Pull back and throw. First down. It's Kamara finding an opening.
Kamara, 31 yards, 3.1 yards per carry on the ground, under 3.5 per run, 3 of his last 4. Bears defense has struggled versus running backs this year, but not last week, holding Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt to 61 yards, 3.6 a carry.
A toss to Krosky-Merritt, and well played.
Daniels gave him the most trouble as a runner, 52 yards on 5.2 a scamper.
So that means Spencer Rattler has a good chance of putting the Saints rush attack on his back. He's been adamant these last couple of weeks about, using his legs a little more, being that extra runner, that 11th guy that they have to account for. Started all the way back in week 4 against the Buffalo Bills. He flashed that. He needs to be a little more consistent with it. But he has the ability to put a rush attack on his back and open up a lot of holes. Keep Dennis Allen sweating over there, giving them fits. He has a chance.
Through trouble, still, and a first down.
This is an AI-free zone, everyone. Nothing artificial, and certainly nothing intelligent about Game Preview Guy Productions. Okay, well, at least he got that part right, idiot.
What do you think this is? What is a grown man game?
Whodat has won the last 8 meetings in a row against the Bears. Got to go back to 2008 for the last Bears win. It was a fun one, though.
On a clear night in Chicago, you can still see the playoffs. But from the start, all eyes were on Daniel Manning.
Daniel Manning at the 17, running right. 25-30, hits the crease. He's going!
Chicago native Pierre Thomas, number 23, returned home with 2 gift-wrapped touchdowns.
Down to the 15, then 5, touchdown!
But Chicago forced overtime and brought the Saints crashing back to earth.
Going deep. Going for Devin. Adjusted incomplete, but Martin flies inside. Placement made, Brad Maynard. Kick to the uprights. Rounding goal. Playoff hopes are still alive.
They're on meme alert. Every single one of them are on meme alert. 21, 17, 13, 20, 21, 16, 24, Gordon, 19, 24 at home, 23. They're all on meme alert. Doesn't mean the Saints are going to win, but it would be really great and really funny if they do. This is just one example of many that the Saints have a chance, because look, no one's going to give it to you. Nobody is going to give it to you. You have to be out there. You have to go out there and take it. Now, I mentioned there's a certain player on defense that's tailor-made to be in this game. He needs to be in this game. And that's Danny Stutsman. You have to start the Stutsman. Danny Stutsman is the guy who is the reason why I say he's tailor-made for his game, because this sets the makings of an old school rivalry. I talk about storylines of Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams. What about Danny Stutsman? He played Oklahoma. In his freshman year, if that was his freshman year or the year before, he got to Oklahoma. Those two guys were together on the same field. But I think Danny Stutsman was a teammate of theirs. I think it was the year that Caleb Williams took over for Rattler as a starting quarterback. Danny Stutsman was just finding his stride. So you don't think he has an axe to grind? You don't think that he doesn't want to be out there showing that, hey, there's more than just two guys here who used to play at Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to show you why I think there's another reason why I want Danny Stutsman to be here over Spencer Rattler. I'm going to have to give me a second. I got to bring up my screen here. Now, granted, look, Danny Stutsman, he only played 6 snaps. He only played 6 snaps against the Patriots. But there was one play in particular that I want to highlight, if I can get to it. Here it is. All right, check this out. Check this out real quick. This was, I believe, his 3rd snap. I believe this was his 3rd snap of the game. One of the reasons why Danny Stutsman was drafted in the 4th round is because he was known for shedding blocks and making tackles in the backfield. He was one of the best in the country. He was one of the main reasons why he was runner-up for the nation's top linebacker award. This is stuff Pete Werner does not do. Pete Werner does not shed blocks. He just crashes into somebody and hopes someone is able to pick up his slack. I don't care about PFF. PFF has been so inconsistent. I want to know what do my eyes say? What do the eyes tell you? What do we see? What do we see? Here's what I've seen. Again, he only plays 6 snaps. I want to highlight this one specifically of Danny Stutsman. Am I good? Yeah, I'm good, OG. What's going on? Did they take me down, OG? Did they take me down, OG? Is that what's going on? They took me down, didn't they? If they did, oh well. At least we know for next time, right? But check this out. Let me find out. Let me find out they took me down, bro. Let me find out they took me down, bro. If they took me down, that's gonna be so funny. But I don't think they did. I don't think that they did. No, I'm still here. Still here, still rocking. Okay. So check this out, y'all. Watch 28 right here, Danny Stutsman. Watch how easily he slips this tackle and makes the play. Something that Pete Werner does not do. I'm going to let it run. Right now, this is going to be an inside zone run. Inside zone with a little misdirection. Right there. They're climbing up. Peep the left guard, okay? It's an inside zone. They're trying to work the combo block on 92 here. He's supposed to climb up to the linebacker. Obviously, Devon Gaja takes that away. Combo block doesn't happen, but he still has the responsibility of getting up to Danny Stutzman here. Watch this. Boom. Makes the play. Watch the hands of Danny Stutzman as he sheds this block. Watch the hands of Danny Stutzman. Bam. That is textbook. That's how you're supposed to shed a block. Right there. He plays with his hands. It's the hands and his ability to keep his head up. He chops it away and he swims under. It's the chop and the swim under to get around the block and still keep his head up to find the running back. And now he's got a free run to get into that hole. Boom. Right there is only a 3-yard gain. Only a 3-yard gain. Watch it one more time. Sheds the block. Easy. Boom. Makes the play. That's when I first took notice of Danny Stutzman. This is part of his game. This is what Danny Stutzman does. Again, he only plays 6 snaps. I have to emphasize that because people think that he was in the game. He was in there all game. No. He only played 6 snaps, and Isaiah Stallberg played 8. But it was so notable to me that they're getting Stutzman in the game because they see something in Pete Werner that they don't like. So I credit Brandon Staley for making that decision to try to get Stutzman adjusted to NFL games and put something on tape. If you like what you see, you want to see more of it. If I'm Brandon Staley, I would love even what I seen here. Watch it one more time. Danny Stutzman does this for a living, guys. He loves old school football, boom, and getting after the running back. You want to talk about I talked just earlier about being top 5 in the NFL against the run. You put Stutzman in this game as a starter, subbing up, or at the very minimum, you sub him in for Pete Werner on rundowns. Top 5 puts you on trajectory for top 3. That's how good Stutzman is. Now, you can obviously leave Pete Werner in on obvious pass rush situations, right? But when it's an obvious rundown and you need someone to make that play, nothing right now is telling me I can't at least give this young man more opportunities to play the run, especially since the Bears are going to want to lean heavily on DeAndre Swift in the game he had against the Commanders. It's just old school football to a T. This is what they're known for. Danny Stutzman lives for these type of moments. Got to get Danny Stutzman more than 15 snaps. You got to involve him more in this game. You absolutely have to. It's malpractice otherwise. Jonas Sanker, even though he didn't have the best game on Sunday, he's giving you all that in the run game and more. You got a great player in Jonas Sanker. Who's to say you don't have one in Danny Stutzman? You get him there, then that puts you even more ahead of the curve against, in terms of, rebuilding this team. It's just great stuff, man. You love to see it. I want to see more of it. That's why you need to start Stutzman, man. Y'all need to start him. I mean, what do you have to lose at this point, right? We have to lose. You young guys want to contribute. Speaking of another young guy, we got a young guy who has an axe to grind against Dennis Allen. You talk about DeAndre Swift having a good game. There's someone who wants to have an even better game against the coach that tried to put him in a doghouse. That put him in a doghouse out of spite. That's my boy Kendrick Miller. That's 5 right there. You need Cinco to be your 1A in this game. Look, there's no denying that Alvin Kamara is a great player. There's no denying Alvin Kamara is the face right now of the New Orleans Saints. So denying that Alvin Kamara is going to be in the Saints Hall of Fame, probably in the NFL Hall of Fame when he retires, because of his accolades and his individual is in his performance, right? But Kendre Miller needs to start this game. He needs to start it. He needs to finish it. This right here, Kendre Miller needs this game for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. For me, the biggest reason, he needs his get back and he needs the validation. Yo, we all saw how Dennis Allen treated him last year. We all saw it, plain as day. Now, Kendre Miller is having far and away his best season of his young career and his third year in the league. They need Kendre. They need the Kendre Miller that's been showing up week in, week out so far. I've compared Kendre Miller to David Montgomery, not just because of their speed, but also because of how they play, their elusiveness, their ability to shed tackles, get additional yardage. It's very similar, very, very similar. On the low end, David Montgomery. On the high end, could be Saquon, could be, but he doesn't have the breakaway speed of Saquon. That's why he's more accurate to say David Montgomery. It's not a bad thing. I think it's a pretty good thing. But Kendre needs his game. I think if Kendre has a good game against Dennis Allen, I think it really goes a long way to infecting the rest of the Saints roster, who's had nothing great to say about Dennis Allen's last season as head coach of the New Orleans Saints. From AKA to Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, especially Chris Olave. Yes, Chris Olave, Shaheed. If only Mike T was playing this game. But it is what it is. Okay? Dennis Allen ruined so much of this franchise. He used the shine and the value that Sean Payton left this team with. He squeezed out every bit of drop he could. And he left this team a husk, a shell of its former self. No love lost for Dennis Allen. Yeah, sure. By all accounts at the time, he was a great play caller, a great defensive coordinator. Got our Saints defense back to relevancy when he implemented his 4-3 base, 4-2-5 nickel. Right? Okay. But as a head coach, bringing in Derek Carr, he should have been even made head coach. If I'm being honest, Mickey Loomis, Joe Hands are just as dirty. Saints need this. The Saints need this. The Saints fans need this. All of us need this game for closure. They need closure in this game. Spencer Rattler needs it against Caleb Williams. Kendre Miller and some numerous Saints players and fans need it against Dennis Allen. No disrespect to Ben Johnson. He's a great guy. He's going to be leading the Chicago Bears to great things. But for this game, I need Caleb Williams to look like the Caleb Williams we saw in his rookie year. Not great, taking too many sacks. I need it. We need it so badly. I can't understate that enough. It'd be a breath of fresh air. It'd be a sign for these guys that you've really turned the page, that you've really moved on or starting to move on from Dennis Allen and what he's done to you. It's like healing or recovering from PTSD. That's how bad it was. And I was a guy who at one point was, rooting for DA. I really, really was. I wanted DA to work out because he was handpicked. I thought that the Raiders situation was just an atrocious situation. Well, right now it still is. So I wanted to give him that chance. But I was a fool. And as a result of that, I personally need this win. Desperate badly. Because I need that validation that we made the right choice. I'm moving on from DA. And so far, hey, Kellen Moore doing his thing. I ain't mad at it. But you need to get back. I think we all need it. I don't like how he handled Kendrick Miller. I don't like how he handled Mike T. I don't like that contract he gave Derek Carr. I don't like how he alienated the Saints players from the fan base, trying to make it act like we were the problem. No, you were the fucking problem. I'm not trying to hear none of that. Anything DA says about his former team, players and coaches need to see that and make it fuel for fire. There needs to be smoke on every snap. I need to see intensity like none other. I need to see these Saints DBs have the best game of their young careers. I want DeAndre Swift smothered. I want to see blanket performances on these Chicago wideouts. If the defense can get 5 sacks, that would be great. Ideally, I'll be okay with 3. I need to see their red zone locked down. I need them to have their best statistical performance on third down this year. I need all that. Ideally, I want to see a 40 burger hung on DA's head. Now, it's not going to happen. Most likely not, but that's wishful thinking. But it would be nice. But I need that type of mentality. I need to see anger. I need to see them pissed off. I need to see them locked in and get it done. You do that against DA and the Falcons, I'm good for the rest of the season. Personally, I'm good for the rest of the season. But you need this one. If nothing else, you need this game for validation going into the offseason once everything is said and done. You cannot, under any circumstance, give DA this win. I need Brandon Staley to coach his ass off. I need him to prove that he's a better defensive play caller than DA. I need it. You finna be going band for band for Dennis Allen this week. All of us are going to be looking at you. All of us. I think Kellen Moore can keep up with Ben Johnson. Brandon Staley, this is your moment now. Prove it. Prove that shit. Spencer Rattler, prove your get back. Prove that you are the better option than Caleb Williams. Miller, I need you to prove to yourself, if nothing else, prove that DA was dead wrong for keeping you in the doghouse, bro. I need all receipts ready to be unleashed this week if we win. If we win, I'm going to be so insufferable. I'm going to be spamming Seth Rollins all weekend if we win this game. Y'all know Seth Rollins. I'm a wrestling fan, and Seth Rollins likes to post about the Chicago Bears and all that. I'm going to be so insufferable. I need all the Dennis Allen memes that y'all can throw on social media if we win this game. All Bears fans, it's smoke this week. All right, no disrespect to y'all, but y'all got DA. As long as y'all got DA, it's smoke when we play. It is absolute smoke. My final thoughts is this. Even though this is going to be Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams' first meeting in the NFL in their young careers, we all know it's definitely not going to be the last. Most likely not. But for this first meeting, I need Spencer Rattler to come out with a dub. This is the 1 week where I'm absolutely going to believe that Spencer Rattler can pull out the win against his former college teammate. I do believe that Rattler's going to be coming out with a fire that he wants to prove that he was supposed to be the man for the job at Oklahoma. Now, professionally speaking, he said he was grateful for that because he got to develop at South Carolina. Maybe some of that is true. But as a player, as a competitor, you have some. You always going to feel some type of way when it comes to the guy that took your spot, in the limelight. So with that being said, man, it's going to be a really, really interesting week. a really interesting week. The Bears didn't practice yesterday because they played on Monday Night Football. So their first injury report is going to be coming out sometime this afternoon. So I would look forward to that. Look for some interesting names. I hear some guys are kind of nicked up. I wouldn't suspect them to not play on Sunday, but you never know in this league. Isaac Yiadom's still out for the Saints with a hamstring. AK and Alontae Taylor popped up yesterday with hip and ankle respectively. So we'll just have to wait and see, man. But I need this win. We need this win. You know what I'm saying? But I will be back. Today's Thursday, so most likely I will be back Saturday for final thoughts on this game. Actually, no. I'll be back Sunday. I'll be back Sunday with final thoughts on the game. We'll have a pro pregame live with the Saints. Whole pregame warm-up thing here on the channel on Sunday. We're going to talk a little bit more about the game and hopefully with the final score. We're going to try and predict the final score, predict final stats, and a lot of the good stuff. With that being said, I appreciate all y'all who popped in and tuned in. I'll see y'all Sunday morning, 9 a.m. sharp. Yes, 9 a.m. because we're also going to be doing live reactions to the international game that's going to be taking place. I hadn't been able to do those for a while, so it's going to be kind of fun, right? So that being said, I'll see y'all Sunday morning, 9 a.m. sharp or 8 a.m. depending on when the game starts. I think it was 8:30, but look out for my official, announcement of when I'm going live. It's going to be a fun time. It's your boy, Hudak Davis. As always, y'all know, if y'all don't know, you will not over here. We bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. I'll see y'all Sunday morning. Who that?